Hey, what's going on, guys? OJ back here with another video. Today, we're breaking down the greatest hope session we have ever witnessed after Andrew Tate lost his gimmick boxing match to Chase Demoor. And let me just say this. This was just 50 minutes of pure delusion and entertainment. If you guys want to check out the original video for yourselves, I will leave the link to that in the description below. But for now, I'm going to show you guys a series of clips you may or may not have watched about Andrew Tate hoping to his loss to Chase Demoor. And you're going to see throughout this entire video that the clips get worse and worse. All right. Slowly but surely, you're seeing the cracks and chinks in the armor of the once known Top G. And at the end of the day, Top G has been exposed as a complete fraud. But regardless of that, let's just get through the clips first. All right, starting off with the one that you guys probably saw. If I didn't get tired, I would have won.
I don't even know. I've not yet had time to process why he beat me. I got tired after the second round, and I don't know why.
Let me just say this. It could be due to a lack of training. All right, I'll be completely honest with you guys. It could be due to a lack of training. If anything, that's probably why he got tired in the second round. Like, I'm saying this as someone who's not professional in any combat sport by any means, but I regularly train with pros. All right. And I always get tired before them because I don't train as hard as them. That's simply it. Conditioning only comes from training. And the fact that Andrew Tate got tired after 6 minutes where neither guy really did anything, it just shows how little he prepared for this fight against Chase Demoor.
The first and second round, he couldn't touch me.
Again, that's just not true. All right. Chase Demoor, I don't think landed that many shots. But at the same time, though, you barely did anything either, right? Let's just not get that twisted. You landed a couple of more body jabs to win those 2 rounds. You barely squeaked it out. Like, I gave you the 2 rounds, but in all honesty, you barely did enough. And quite frankly, I'm like, why has Andrew Tate not slept Chase Demoor out yet? Chase Demoor is awful. That was my entire take throughout those 2 rounds of quite quite frankly, one of the worst boxing matches I've ever witnessed.
If I didn't get tired, I would have won. I'm a better.
If I didn't get tired from sprinting in a 5K marathon, I would have won the race. That's basically what Andrew Tate is saying right now. Like this is just pure delusion coming out of his ass.
Better boxer. But I did get tired. Maybe it's ring rust. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe he's too heavy and he kept leaning on me.
Or you just didn't train hard enough.
I don't know why. But he beat me.
Just leave it off there, Andrew Tate. Now, he's going to go on talking about how he respects Chase Demoor. Like, I don't care about that necessarily. But basically, he's giving Chase Demoor all of the props and respects. But as you're going to see throughout the rest of these clips, you're going to start to see the Top G unravel a little bit. And starting from here, he's basically blaming God for zapping all of his strengths. And then giving Chase Demoor the ability to win their gimmick boxing match, when in reality, both guys are terrible. It's just that Chase Demoor has more grit than Andrew Tate.
If I want to get spiritual about all of this, you have to understand that there are forces larger than us people that exist.
Is bro Master Uruguay? Is bro trying to become one with the universe or like one with the spirit realm? Is he this kung fu master trying to teach us how to take a loss and to not care about what others say? Keep in mind, this is the same Top G who's made his brand off of being a badass. You see the irony in this?
And I said that the answer was already written. Why did I get tired? I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Because you didn't train hard enough.
The only thing that makes sense is that I was not supposed to win. Why was I not supposed to win?
Because you didn't train hard enough.
Is the world a better place now that I've lost?
Yes, because we get to meme your ass and expose you as the fraud that you are. But carry on.
Maybe the win means more to Chase than it would have mean to me. Maybe
I mean, sure, if you want to put it like that, sure, like nobody really thought that Chase Demoor was going to win. Let's be honest here. Coming into this fight, we all thought that Top G was going to destroy Chase Demoor in the first 2 rounds. I thought that was a given. Like, think about this. Jake Paul had more of a chance to beat Anthony Joshua than Chase Demoor did to beating Andrew Tate. You know how ridiculous that sounds in hindsight. Like Andrew Tate was supposed to mop the floor with Chase Demoor with little to no resistance. Yet here is Andrew Tate losing to Chase Demoor and now talking about how, oh, if God didn't zap my gas tank and all that stuff, I don't know why I was supposed to lose. Because you didn't train. That's simply it. Chase Demoor, although he looked terrible, I think he was at least conditioned for the later rounds, which you certainly weren't, to say the least.
Chase couldn't handle the loss.
This is my favorite part, Mel. Chase Demoor couldn't handle the loss. Let me just say this, buddy. I don't know how Chase Demoor would have reacted to losing to Andrew Tate. But what I would say, though, is that Chase Demoor would not be going on his Rumble stream to make a 50-minute cope session about why he lost, blaming anybody but himself, right? Because throughout that entire 50-minute stream, with these couple of clips, he blames a bunch of people, blaming the Romanian government, blaming God. I don't know what Chase Demoor would have done, but it certainly would have been better than what you've been doing for 50 minutes straight, Autumn G.
Maybe God decided, you know what, Chase has been through enough with mocking and things on the internet. Chase doesn't need the loss right now. Andrew can handle the loss better. Maybe
Again, you're not handling the loss all that well, right? If anything, I believe that Chase Demoor would have been a better sport about this than you. All right, that's just me. I don't even know who Chase Demoor is in reality, but I just know that Chase Demoor, if he had lost this fight and was supposed to confront the media, he would have done a lot better of a job than whatever this Baldy is doing right now.
God decided. Maybe if I won, we would have went out and celebrated that night, and Tristan would have smoked a bunch of cigars, and maybe he would have died 1 minute earlier.
No, I think what Tristan wanted for you to do was beat up Chase Demoor like you should have, and and then get a fight with KSI or Jake Paul. I think that's what Tristan would have wanted, right? If Tristan Tate could have sacrificed 1 minute for you to potentially earn millions from your following fights with KSI and Jake Paul, I'm gladly sure that Tristan Tate would have sacrificed that minute. If anything, he could have sacrificed a couple of years to watch you fight KSI and Jake Paul for millions. But instead, you didn't do that because you couldn't even beat Chase Demoor.
And maybe I get an extra minute with my brother because I lost. And if that's the case, then I'm glad I lost. You have to have faith in a higher power. There's a lesson in all of this.
The lesson here is you're shit at boxing.
And I don't need to know exactly what it is. If God decides that for some reason he's going to instantly gas me when I was in perfect physical condition so that I lose.
God smited all of my stamina away into I okay, I'm gonna say this as someone who isn't religious, but let me just say, I think God has more important matters to attend to than a gimmick fight between you and Chase Demoor. I think there are a billion other things God could be doing instead of watching you get your ass beat by Chase Demoor after he smites you of all your cardio for 2 rounds. Like, do not blame God on this one, all right? It's one thing whenever the Dagestani fighters say it is Allah's way whenever they lose a fight. That's one thing. But for you to blame God for zapping all of your stamina after 6 minutes of where both of you threw hissy fit punches at each other, I don't think that's right. I think that's very sacrilegious of you to do. And yeah, just don't blame God for this. All right, that's my overall take. But we're gonna go on because not only does this guy manage to blame God for zapping all of his strength, he then went on to blame the Romanian authorities for his loss to Chase Demoor.
Could I have beat Chase 3 years ago before the Romanians threw me in a fucking jail cell and forced me to sit in my house for 3 years for no reason? Yeah. Am I bitter? Am I going to sit here and cry that the Romanian government, the most corrupt government in the fucking EU, stole my prime years, my last years I could fight at my best?
That is literally what you're doing, but carry
Am I
on.
going to cry about it? No. You can't undo moves in life.
You literally look like you're about to cry right now.
Could I have beat Chase 3 years?
And let me just say this about the Romanian government. Like, sure, that's true, but at the end of the day, what does that matter for your fight? Like, oh, it's the Jews' fault for making me late to work today. This is the equivalent of someone who's like anti-Israel and all that stuff. That's the equivalent of what we're discussing here. All right, you can't blame the Romanian government and authorities for putting you on house arrest as to why you lost to Chase Demoor. Matter of fact, I, I thought the house arrest really helped you to focus because when you were in that house arrest, there were clips of you everywhere just training with Tristan and boxing with him every single day. That's all you've been posting, or that's all the clips that were going around during that time period. So, if anything, that's even worse because that means you focus solely on boxing or just getting into physical shape. Yet you couldn't even last more than 2 rounds in a boxing match with Chase Demoor, where both of you guys looked like you didn't know how to fight. But moving on, though, we got honestly my favorite coping session because Andrew Tate basically calls himself uh the Messiah, right? He's basically telling us that he's here to suffer for all of us and to teach us how to be a stronger fighter. Eh, I didn't take inspiration from your fight, let's just say, but carry on. I'm just gonna play the clip for now.
Maybe my job on this planet is just to take a fucking beating over and over again and just pay for everyone else and give everybody else what they want, to make sure the mothers of my kids have a fantastic life, and to make sure that my kids have a fantastic life, and to teach you all things. And maybe I'm just here to fucking suffer and get my ass kicked, and I'm going to do it all so I can give everyone else a fantastic life and give everyone else mindset advice. Nobody gives me mindset advice. Nobody helps me. Nobody helps me with my mindset and saves me when I'm depressed. No, maybe I'm just here to take a fucking beating like a piñata and give candy to everybody else. Maybe that's what God's plan was for me.
Again, God probably does not think you're all that important. Matter of fact, most of the people watching this video probably don't think that you're all that important. You just got your ass beat by Chase Demoor because Chase Demoor's better, right? It was not because you had to provide for your family that you had to risk fighting some absolute behemoth like Chase Demoor. No. First off, your family was well off regardless of this fight. And second off, you picked Chase Demoor because you thought it was easy pickings. Yet you couldn't even beat the easy pickings.
But I ain't going to fucking cry about it. If that's what God wants me to do, then that's what I'm going to fucking do.
So why are you bringing it up? Why are you bringing up the fact that God let you get beat up like a piñata? Which, Imma be real, it's not even God's fault, it's just that you didn't train. You did not train. Can you just say that, Andrew Tate? I feel like that's what it ultimately comes down to, because the top G, like, he has built his brand around being a badass fighter, but now that the covers have been unveiled and we've exposed the fraud, top G can no longer count himself as a badass fighter. Now he has to be the punching bag where everybody can make fun of in order to provide us entertainment and to teach us things. The only thing you taught us was to how not to throw a punch in a boxing fight. The only things you taught us was that you are an insufferable asshole. You are absolutely delusional. And quite frankly, it's just more entertainment at this point than you teaching us what to do with our lives. That's simply how I viewed this boxing match between Andrew Tate and Chase Demoor. But last but not least, though, this is where we really see the top G spirit get shattered. Because I thought the top G was about to cry here, right? I thought that Tate was about to burst into tears as he's explaining why the people who are criticizing him right now are the bad guys. Carry on.
Anyone who thinks less of me for doing something I didn't have to do, for money I didn't need, for taking a risk with my life.
You fought Chase Demoor. Sorry, Chase Demoor is not a risk to your life, right? Now, you could say, oh, it's a fight, anything can happen. Sure. But coming into this fight, did you actually believe that Chase Demoor was going to put a whooping on Andrew Tate so badly that there might be a risk to Andrew Tate's life? No. It's not what we thought. We all thought that Andrew Tate was going to whoop up Chase Demoor in the first 2 rounds. Yet you couldn't do that. So where is this energy of, oh, I had to risk my life to fight the great behemoth of Chase Demoor? You were a minus 700 underdog against Chase Demoor. Like, to put it in perspective, that's the equivalent between Renato Moicano and Islam Makhachev. All right? If Renato Moicano came out and said that when he took the fight on short notice against Islam Makhachev, I'd understand it. You did not do that, though. You fought Chase Demoor. Chase Demoor is not an all-time great fighter, right? Chase Demoor is a bum that you should have slept out in the first 2 rounds, but you couldn't because you're also dog shit at fighting.
Has a character defect and a morality defect.
I like how he brings up the morality defect because let's just put this out there for you guys who haven't seen this clip.
Once a girl named April Baker.
Little sexy, little fat ass. And I was like, you're hot. So I messaged her. She's like, I'm only 16. I was like, give a fuck.
Once a girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna just leave that there for you guys. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave that in the description down below. Sure, you could say that people who are commentating like me aren't the ones getting in the ring. Sure, you could say that, but at the end of the day, though, the people who actually professionally fight kind of agree with what I'm saying, and that you are a complete fraud, and that you are a complete bottom G, and you are coping immeasurably hard right now. I think that's what everybody, even the professional fighters, would say following your loss to Chase Demoor.
And they're not the kind of people I want to like me. So that's fine. Anyone I've inspired
You didn't inspire anyone with that performance.
has made it all worth it.
Again, you didn't inspire anybody.
And if I could go back in time, knowing the result, knowing I would lose in front of the world, I'd do it again.
You would not do that. You would honestly try to rig the fight. That's what I honestly see from you, bottom G. But yeah, regardless though, my overall take on this, and this is I'm gonna share with you guys something. Believe it or not, I used to actually listen to Bot MG a lot because when he was actually popular, you know, when he was coming out with all these quote unquote misogynistic things and actual like crazy stuff to say sometimes, when he was actually relevant, I used to listen to him a lot because that was around the time where I got dumped. And he used to say the words that I always wanted to hear. But after a couple months later, when I moved on, when I actually started to lock into school so I can get some jobs, that's when I realized that this guy is a fucking retard. And Andrew Tate, not only is he a complete retard, though, he is a complete fraud. Because even during that time, right, when I moved on, I at least thought that Andrew Tate, regardless of all of his controversial opinions, I thought he was a badass fighter. But after watching his fight with Chase Demoor, I can't even say that because not only did he look awful, he didn't even grit down when he had the chance to. Right? Like, I've seen Yuri Prohaska grit down all the time in the third round when he's down like 2 rounds. Right? It doesn't have to be Yuri Prohaska esque, but he didn't even risk himself to get hit once. He just clinched up with Chase Demoor anytime Chase Demoor tried to advance and land some shots. So, in truth, the reason why people like me are making fun of Andrew Tate is because he used to yak absolute nonsense about being the top dude to dominate everybody in the field, right? Not give any excuses regardless, right? You just have to win. That's all that matters. But now that you lost, now that you're being exposed as a fraud in terms of combat ability as well, you are now the guy talking about, I tried. That's all that matters. Like, no, you don't get to play that card all of a sudden. I'm sorry. Like, you don't get to do that. So, simply put, Andrew Tate, you are a fraud. I'm sure the Tate fanboys will try to hate on this video regardless. But I think anybody with a brain can comfortably say that Andrew Tate, after he fought Chase Demoor, got exposed as nothing but a fraud. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe so we can monetize this channel. Otherwise, though, leave any comments down below what you guys feel about this. All right. Happy holidays to you guys, especially those who are watching my video outside of the US. I have a Christmas video for you guys in a couple of hours. All right, I don't know when I'm gonna upload it, but I'll try to upload it as soon as I can. But for now, this is it for this video. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.